Okay, hello, welcome. I'm just going to share the link out to the Telegram group. Okay, so we're on day 3 of the Apex Trader funding evaluation, just a 25k USD challenge, up about 217 USD at the moment with a target of 1500. So we're a little over 10% of the way there. What we've got here, so we've got a 1 hour FDAX Mini futures contracts. We can see some volume building up here in the last hour compared to this candle and this one as well. So the market's starting to get quite active. There's a bit of activity going on. We've got the 5-minute down below, so we've got a bit of a shorter time frame. We can kind of get a more zoomed in picture of what's going on with pricing. Also got the volume profile here to kind of show us where things are at, and over to the left we've also got the pivot points as well. Just a reminder, guys, as well, we do have a giveaway for today. So if you do want an Apex Trader funding account, an evaluation for free for the first month, you can just jump in the chat, let me know that you want a free one. Just send me an email, I'll give you the access and you'll be good to go. You'll be able to follow me along and experience the Apex evaluation for yourself. Obviously, if you pass, there's a chance you can get funded and obviously look towards getting payouts. Got 10 minutes till the open, so I'll just run over some analysis, have a look at the market, see what we might be expecting. So this is all live. When the market opens, I'll be talking through what's actually going on in my head anyway, and what I'm seeing on both the pivot points over to the left and in the Tradovate platform where it shows the order flow on the 1 hour and the 5-minute. But before we get to that live session, it's always good to get a feel for what the market is looking like on a shorter term and a longer term time frame. What I can see here on the pivot points is we've got kind of the triple bands, I like to call it. So we've got the breakout long, the R1, and the previous day's high just above here, and they're all very close, causing some confluence with those levels. We've also got the pivot and the close price relatively central between these triple bands, and then down below we've got the breakout short, S1, and previous day's low. So this kind of layout, often the market will try and stay within these triple bands, particularly around the early part of the session. So we'll be looking for rejections off these levels. So if it gets all the way down to the breakout short, I may be looking to get long, just depending on obviously the order flow, because the order flow can give us some serious detail as to what's actually going on with the orders. If we trade using the pivot points on their own, it can create some, I guess, you're sort of just flying blind. You're just hoping that the levels hold without actually knowing the ins and outs of who's buying and who's selling. So what I'll be looking for today, I can't particularly see any solid trades at the open. I expect that if we do come down and touch the close gap, so we'll fill that gap from yesterday. We're kind of going to drift around in between these levels. I'll be looking for ejections off either one, but I won't be holding too long, because if we do breach this breakout long, there's a good chance we'll be heading up to R2 or even R3. Same goes for the downside. So I'll really be relying on the order flow, like what happened yesterday, where the market had a massive order around one of these levels. I'll go and do a bit of a recap here in a second. Just bear with me one moment. Turn off the chart shift. So this was yesterday's trading. The opening candle, just go Control F. So the first sort of 20 odd minutes, the market hung around this S3, and I was saying that the target was either going to be the low or the close gap. However, I didn't want to stay in and take the risk just in case we did have a bearish day. So basically, the market pushed down a little lower. It didn't quite get as low as this wick here, and it went all the way to the target, target 1 and 2. The issue with holding trades like this for the Apex Trader funding is, of course, the drawdown rules. So trailing drawdown, it trails on a live trade. So for example, if you have a trade that is, say, $1,500 in profit, you don't close it, and it comes all the way back down to your entry, that would then count as drawdown being breached. So max drawdown being hit, even though you're only at break even from when you got in. So just something to be aware of. Apex Trader funding isn't great for people that are looking to, I guess, buy and hold because of that trailing drawdown method that they use. There are other firms that use an end of day drawdown, which is a lot better, but then they're more expensive, and obviously the liquidity and different ins and outs of their rules can make it, I guess, a bit less worthwhile. The other thing is Apex Trader funding do have a 80% off coupon code as well as the giveaway that you've got going on at the end of this session. So we'll do some trading. People that are commenting and interacting, I will look at giving them one of these accounts today, and you can choose any account size that you like out of that. It's free for the first month, and then obviously you do have to pay after that month if you haven't passed already. So yeah, basically recapping what happened yesterday, the market came down. I wasn't confident to get in and hold, but basically as soon as I shut down the live session, the market took off in my favor, and we would have hit the full target. Same thing happened the day before, I believe. So yeah, we came down. I got in at these breakout short levels, came down, touched the low. I held for that position, but I didn't want to take it too much further. Fortunately, it did hold. I got out up here. However, the target was either the pivot or the close, depending on order flow, of course. And we hit the target yesterday as well. If you were sort of had the patience and stamina to stay in those positions, you would have done quite well. I did not. I just took the little wins, taking the snippets out of the market and being happy with that, so that I know that I can come back today and have another go. So we've got about 4 minutes till the open. Thanks for watching, guys, as well. Just be sure to pop in the chat, whoever's, I guess, most active, and a bit of back and forth. I'll be giving them the free account for Apex Trader funding, so it's an evaluation. We'll just be watching the open. Got 3 minutes, and I'm not sure on the direction just yet. So we've got the close gap a little bit below. So we're at 24,200 on the CFD charts. This is about 50 or 45 points lower to hit that gap. I think it will likely close Hi, Trek Lord. Thanks for coming back. Good to see you again. Futures, it depends, I guess, because it's a real feed. So that's the good thing, I guess, about futures is it's a real centralized database or order flow. So you see what's actually going on, whereas the I guess forex providers, CFD providers, what they're doing is making the market. So they're adding to the spread. Sometimes they're decreasing the spread as well, because often where they make their money is when their clients either lose or they're making money on another market. So they're able to draw in perhaps some of the bigger traders to, say, trade the DAX, and then they'll make their money some other method. So they have the option to even give like zero spreads if they wanted to, because it's not necessarily a real market. They're making it. So the futures, if you do get slippage and things like that on the futures, it means that the actual market has moved beyond it. It's the true liquidity compared to the CFD guys. They're setting the liquidity to some extent, which is why some of the smaller brokers will have a lot more slippage, and particularly the prop firm guys. I've seen some of them, for example, FTMO are quite good when it comes to slippage. Their liquidity providers are quite solid, but some of the smaller guys, for example, I think Funded Engineer was one that has gone under. They had terrible slippage. I think it was like 100 points or something of slippage. Whereas you're not going to get something like that unless the market actually warrants it in the futures, because it's the real centralized feed. And that's also why we have this this order flow. We've got an actual order flow of the total market. Got 1 minute till the open. It'd be interesting to see if we spike up, run into these levels before we hit the gap, or if we're just going to go straight down and touch that close gap to fill it. It's looking... Okay, looks like we're open. I'm not sure on the direction just yet. I'm hoping that it will come down and perhaps touch this close gap. That's what I guess the expectation will be. It may not. If it does spike up, I'll be waiting until it kind of gets up higher, hopefully in a big impulsive move to take me in. If we do get down to this close gap, I may be looking for what we saw, I guess, yesterday, where there's a big order, a big ask order to take us in long. Quite a bit of volatility. We kind of got close, but I'm hoping it'll get down and actually fill the gap, because that's not quite close enough for me to want to get in just yet. If it does break on through the close gap, we might be looking all the way down to this S1. So I don't want to get in too early. I want to just be patient. If I miss the trade, that's okay. I can always come back tomorrow. If I get into a trade that isn't valid, that could be the end of the account potentially if I don't get out in time. So patience is key. It does hurt to obviously miss a trade that you sort of think, I could have done all right. But if I were to be holding this and it kept going lower, I'd be upset on the flip side. So see this green here down at the 24189. That indicates, so there's quite a bit of perhaps a limit order there. Hopefully the market will track towards that. Also got, I guess, bigger volume up here at the 223, but that's disappeared now. So we can see that, I guess, an algorithm has pulled a lot of those orders away, to almost, I guess, trick the market or people looking for these bigger limit type level 2 order flow. However, it looks like it might be more prominent down lower. Just trying to get a gauge of what's actually going on. Going to zoom in on this 5 minutes, see what the numbers are looking like. It seems fairly positive, but I'm not sure that gap's filled just yet. While I'm waiting for a bit of a consensus on some of the data that I'm looking at here, I'm just going to quickly check the other time frames. So you've got a weekly. This week and last week have been, I guess, small down weeks so far. But overall, obviously very positive long term. On the daily, kind of in the middle of nowhere, right on that mid Bollinger Band. Got the 4 hour. We're on the lower side. We're not outside of it by any means. However, if we did get down to this S1 on the 4 hour, it'd be a really strong out of the Bollinger Band kind of setup, but nothing just yet. Same for the 1 hour, nothing really. We're kind of hanging around the midline, 30-minute midline as well. You can see that we kind of did breach that 30-minute Bollinger Band, but I would say that often the close gap has a stronger pull on the market. So 15-minute, we've made some, we're quite outside that lower Bollinger Band on the 15-minute. We're back to the 5-minute. So we've got 42 contracts here, 27. So this 42 could either be a limit order to sell or aggressive buying to go long. On this side, we've got the 27, 29. Bit of activity here now. Not convinced either direction just yet, but this is looking a bit more bullish. Not ready to get in just yet at these levels. It's very in the middle. So I'm looking for opportunities that are very clear. So the red side is the ask. The limit orders are to sell, but the market orders, so people tapping in at market, are aggressive buyers. On the bid side, again, it's aggressive sellers, so people pushing the market down and forcing the market orders in. On the bid side, they're like selling right now. However, if you do get, so for example, this 17 over here, that kind of looks like a limit order to buy. So it's a little bit confusing. I mentioned the other day Tradovate book on volume, order flow, I should say, order flow analysis is really helpful in understanding what's kind of going on. And you're not reading every single number, you're building a picture of what's actually going on. So we saw that the market kind of pulled down after we've seen some ask side orders. That could have been limit orders. People are saying, all right, I'm either taking profit from a buy, I'm getting out of the trade, or this is where they wanted to sell from. And then we've got some bid side, which is perhaps aggressive selling, and it's pushed the market down. So kind of thin order flow right now. The market's not quite sure what direction it wants to go. We had this wick here at the open, but it didn't quite get to where I'd want it to go for me to get in. So traders probably have two options really. So they can either kind of hope for a breakout and hope that it just continues up, or the alternative is obviously we're going to look to fill this gap. We're fairly close to the close gap, so I think it's probably a bit strange that it won't fill it through the day, but perhaps it's going to happen later during the session. It's looking like it may be a bit of a non-event for me at the moment. Not quite enough volatility, not enough direction to make a decision just yet. It's quite a big candle there for the 4-hour pre-market. It's quite bearish. I'm trying to figure out if this is more of a continuation sort of order flow, or if this is just a bit of a sell-off for then people to buy into it. But again, nothing really that clear just at the moment, from my perspective at least. If there's any viewers in there that haven't already taken the giveaway, jump in the chat and let me know you're there, and let me know if you do want the free account. I've got one every day for the next sort of 9 days now to give away. So jump in the chat, let me know you're there, if you do want the free access. We're really hovering around this 24200 price mark on the CFD charts. I wouldn't consider the gap being filled just yet. M6E. See if I can jump over and have a look. There's nothing much happening just yet, so I'll just see if I can change that. So ME6, M6E. Yeah, it looks good. I think hopefully the close gap will hold. Very tight on the M6. So it's basically right next to each other. There's a gap there. That 19 level there could have been a reasonable indication that we may be looking to go short, coupled with the 21-22. I do hope that this gap does get filled, because until it gets filled, I don't want to actually do anything. I'll just jump over to MNQ as well. That's MNQ. See if that one works. Massive spread, that's MNQ. Okay. It's pretty tight on that one. But it does jump around, it's moving around quite a bit. So it was a great short from that upper level. Well done. Got the pricing over here on the, we've got some limit orders here, 24,199. They're not sort of moving too much. They're not pulling away as the market moves down. So it could be what we're after. And then down here at the 24,193 as well, which would get us a bit closer to that close gap. Well done. That was a good trade. If we see some buying coming in, I'd want to see it drop a little bit further before I get in long, but if I do see an indication on the order flow, that's when I'll potentially make a move to get long just for a contract. With the Apex Trader funding, you've got to trade, I think it's 4 days minimum. So I'm at 2 so far. I've got another 2 days minimum to go. This could be limit orders. I do want to see it come down and connect with this 24,200 and 24,199 as well. There we go. I'm tempted to hit buy, but I'm not just confident just yet. I missed it. I'm going to get in here just for a bit of a scalp. Take a couple of points out. Moved on me, so what do we get? 25 for the day. Hopefully we'll come down further and actually touch this close gap, but at least we're on the board for the day. We can buy ourselves a pub lunch or something. This may be a bit more sort of aggressive selling. It doesn't look so much like a limit order. That could be aggressive buying on this side though. So 7 compared to the 1 on this side. Somebody's hit it for a little bit more than the sellers are willing to do. We'll see if that can take hold or if we're going to track down for this close gap. Again, guys, I can see there's a few viewers. I do have one account to give away today. So if you want to jump in, Treklord's already won on day 1. We've got an account to give away for Apex Trader funding today as well. So jump in the chat, let me know you're there, and I'll let you know how to win that account. It's free for the first month. You can choose any size with the Apex Trader funding. This looks like it may be buying. If we can sort of push down a little bit further quite aggressively, form a nice wick to take us in, I'd be quite happy to get in long if the order flow looks quite good there. You can see on this 1 hour, there's a build-up of potentially limit orders on the green side, and then we've got the red, which kind of looks like it's more aggressive to the upside. So we've got the limit orders on here, we've got the buying aggressively above those limits. Quite tempted just to put a contract in. Good morning. Thanks for joining. I know. Can't give them away. I'm very tempted to get in long just for one contract. I will jump out if we start to drop aggressively. But this looks like it's building long to me. The only concern I have is that we'll fill this close gap before we head long. Sylvia, are you open to a free account with Apex Trader funding? Just let me know in the comments, and then all you do is send me an email, and I'll send you the code so that you can go and get your free account. You pick whatever size you like. That market's dropping. We're probably going to hit the close gap a little bit further down. And then I'll probably add another position if I see the opportunity. If we don't reject off this close gap though, I'm going to have to get out super quick. Awesome. I'll just watch this market for the moment. I'm going to type into the chat box how to get in touch and get your free account. That's okay. Thanks for watching. So just email me. I'll get back to you later today. And obviously replace the @ in bracket with the symbol. And I'll get back to you later on tonight with a free code. It's any size. So when you go in, this will basically clear the first month cost. All right, here's the close gap. Tapped it. I'm going to add a contract, but I'm going to look to get out quite quickly if it doesn't respect the level. I'm just going to change the quantity up here to 2 because I've got 2 contracts in the market. I want to be able to exit quite quickly. I don't want to have to double tap it. I want to just be able to get out in one click. See the close gap here, it had 17 contracts on this side, 25 on this side, so that I'm hoping is aggressive buying coming in after a limit order has been hit. That combination would tell me that we're going to go long. However, there may be a bit of slippage before we completely turn around. We've had a little bit of a wick. Let's hope it's enough to push the market higher. So I'm trading, if anyone who's watching who's not sure of what I'm trading the FDAX Mini. So it's smaller than the full contract size. Each movement per contract is about €5. That looks like it may be just pushing through lower. I'll have to get out of this shortly if it doesn't turn around. About 10 points. Still fairly tight from the close gap, but I'm not seeing what I kind of want to see just yet. I think I'm going to have to exit this position. This order flow here looks like it could be pushing the market up, but we've got this sort of wick, and the market's still deciding what direction it wants to go. Okay. This one is level 2, so you've got to get the DAX, you've got to have the Eurex add-on. So you go into, I think it's subscriptions in the settings, and then you get the Eurex as an add-on. I might just place a just going to place a stop on this side. Okay, so I'm going to right click on the ask side. So that'll take me out of this position if it goes below that level, because I don't want to take any more risk than that. I'm hoping this is as far as it'll go, and it will push up from here. But until we get down to this sort of triple banding here, there's not much else holding it up. So I don't want to take all this extra risk. It's not what I want to do. So happy to get out here and come back and play tomorrow. Looks like it's probably going to stop out. There's a lot of selling there. And that's it. So a loss today put us behind a bit, but it's better than riding it all the way down and letting it blow up. So a bit disappointing. As tempted as I am to get long here, I don't want to take on the extra risk. Exactly. So there it goes. That's what we were looking for. Will it hold? Not too sure. But I'd rather get out and look for a better opportunity tomorrow. For example, if the market was open down here and it bounced off these levels, we'd have a much better entry. But at least we kept the account alive. Sylvia, just when you email me as well, just let me know your username so that I can make sure I'm giving the free account to the right person. Because we've come so far below the close gap, it's not really a rejection offered anymore. It's kind of just, people are probably just buying the value, the overextension. Okay, awesome, thank you. I'll check that shortly. At the end of this session, I'll send you a code and a link so that you can go and get your free account. Thanks everyone for watching. I probably won't be looking to get into another trade today, unless obviously the market did get right down here very quickly, a large impulsive move into one of these levels, the triple banding. Aside from that, we've filled the close gap, and I'd just be looking for rejections, but that probably won't happen within the hour. So for those of you watching along, I'd be watching these levels quite closely, particularly around the US session open. But I'll be back here again tomorrow. I'll be looking to trade again, see what the market brings us. I'm not sure what that 28 is there. Looks like it's probably selling. So maybe limits and then aggressive selling is the 28 potentially. So even if I held that position, I'd be very nervous now that it's moving back down. I wouldn't have made it all the way to break even. So I'm glad I got out. Yeah, I'll be doing this every day. And I kind of just talk about the order flow, just see what I'm seeing. I'm no expert when it comes to the order flow, but as for using these levels, I often have some good success with understanding what these pivot points do. And then what I'm trying to do with the order flow is basically build a picture of what's actually going on with the buyers and sellers and trying to determine which direction and who has control, that kind of thing. So I guess, yeah, with this stream, we'll come along, we'll learn together. And if you do want to learn about it and read a book, there's a book by Tradovate, who's also on YouTube. I bought the book and I kind of have a much better feel for the bid and ask, what it actually means, the limit orders. For the pivot points, I analyze it. I drop the levels in each day. It's a bit like when they drop the runes on in that Viking show. They're kind of just trying to build a picture of what's actually going on. So depending on where the price is right now at the open, particularly, combined with obviously the order flow, the bid and ask, you're trying to build a picture of who's more likely to win, the buyers or the sellers. I'll show you an example of what I mean. Bear with me one sec. That market's coming up now. So with the pivot points yesterday, see how we've got the S3. This was kind of close to the open. And what happened was we had a couple of touches before the market then pushed higher. So because this is quite an extreme level, I'm looking for rejections off it. If we do break below, I don't really know what the market's going to do, so I won't trade. But if we can get a rejection off this S3, obviously that led to a really good trade. Yeah, awesome. I think it's helpful just to experience what's actually going on in the market. I can do well just on the pivot points alone, but I find the order flow, as I mentioned the other day, it helps identify when something big's happening. Or you can also see where there's not much volume. So there's not many traders here. This could be aggressive selling at this level here, but that could be aggressive buying. So they're kind of fighting it out at this level. There's not many traders in here. And it's really about building a more, I guess, refined picture of what's going on to complement what else you're doing. That's how I use it anyway. I don't use it, the order flow, just on its own. I find the levels are really helpful a lot of the time. Another example was day one. So we had some confluence here, we had the previous day's low, and again we rejected off that and went towards that close gap, which is really good for anyone trading, I guess, perhaps not the Apex Trader funding, because obviously if you hold that and you keep holding and it comes all the way back down, that pushes up your trailing drawdown level, the high water mark. So it really kind of squeezes you if you don't take the profits as you go with Apex Trader funding. But if you're on a normal account and not with a prop firm, or you're with one of the prop firms that has end of day trailing drawdowns, then you can sort of ride out your winners a bit easier. So yeah, quite unfortunate. I had probably 5 points more of risk, and the market's coming back up as I kind of called and hoped for, but I wasn't willing once again to take that risk. So while I'm glad I got out and didn't take more risk, it's a bit unfortunate that the market did eventually do what I thought. So if I hadn't have taken this extra contract, which I probably shouldn't have, a rejection off the close gap isn't always the best trade setup. And we can see here there's a bit more red coming in, so perhaps buyers are a bit more confident. And hopefully we'll come all the way up to this upper banding here. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate you coming and checking out and viewing the... Yeah, exactly. It's all part of it, and I'm just glad that I got out. So thanks for watching though, guys. I'll be on tomorrow around the same time. If you want to come and learn a bit about how I see the order flow, we'll talk it out together and see what we think. If you do want to get the book by Tradovate, he's on YouTube, so he's got a lot of videos that talk about how order flow works. He might explain it a bit better than I, and coupled with these live streams, it might help you trading long term. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.